Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Okay, everybody, wet your lips because we have a chef, a fabulous chef. I've known William Walden a long time, but now he has really made himself a great place. He's at BRINY'S Irish Pub Riverfront Restaurant. And I have to tell you, I had the pleasure of going there the other night, and it is a wow, but nothing would do. But when William decided to come and do the radio show, he had to bring a key lime pie. Oh, I can hardly talk. So, William, welcome to the show. And as usual,
Thank you,
are
Anita.
so sweet and so helpful and yummy.
You're wonderful. Thank you
Yummy.
for having me.
So now, I wouldn't even attempt to make a pie like this. I mean, I don't even... How long did it actually take you to make this pie?
Oh, honestly,
Yeah.
20 minutes.
But wait, but you had to have the ingredients because
Well,
you're...
sure, I've got all the ingredients, but in a restaurant there, or the kitchen, you can get things done in a timely
But
fashion.
you were talking about the lime juice,
Yes.
for instance.
Nellie and Joe's Key West lime juice, the best.
Because some
Yeah.
people would use something else, but this is, it's funny. It's very simple and plain looking, and I like that. You could have
Yes.
put whipped cream on, you could have done that, but
Yeah,
it's so mouth-watering. My mouth is tingling.
good. It's supposed to be sweet and tart. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, let's just talk, though, now about the restaurant. This is a pretty exciting thing for you because you have been at some other restaurants, but
Yes.
when you called me and told me where you were like flying high. Why is that?
I still am. I love this place. First of all, the location is absolutely gorgeous. It's right on the riverfront in Lauderdale.
I know I was there. I saw the boats going by.
Oh, yeah. So nice. And the owners, Mike and Aileen Brennan, are amazing people. And they're Irish, and he's from County Kerry, Ireland, he is. And she is from Galway. And they're the nicest people I've ever met. They're such hardworking people. And that's what really attracted me to them as employers, and to work together to really build the
Eileen,
place.
I had the pleasure of meeting her, thank goodness, the other night. And she's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah, she's lovely.
But she's kind and loving and so excited about having you there.
Well, that's great, and I'm excited to be there. And we've got such big plans, really. It's such a unique location there on the riverfront, and I'm doing gastropub food.
Oh, I like
So everything,
that.
I do too. And it's a funny word because it was coined in 1991. Now it's on Wikipedia what gastropub is. It used to be old pub fare where you would go, pub grub, if you will. And there were drinking establishments, pubs were. But now there's more of a focus on what's good, healthy, delicious. Plus, you can drink, have fun, and and enjoy yourself.
But I was
immensely.
there the other night. You had a very fine entertainer. He was playing his guitar, but it was beautiful music, and there were a lot of people there. And I noticed what people were ordering. They were ordering a variety of things, because when I first went there, I thought it was just a pub with beer and, like 10. But, boy, I know when you served us, and I thought that was really special. I mean, I had a beet salad and I love beets with
Yeah.
the goat cheese.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, of course, nothing would do, but you would have to make us. Well, I will talk about the salmon after because that's going to take hours. But anyway, I want to just wait. I have to talk about the beef, the the cut of the beef.
Yeah.
It must all be grass-fed, organic, whatever it is. It was great.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And then you were just feeding us too much. So nothing would do, but you were raving about your salmon.
Yeah.
Now, folks, I will challenge anyone to find a better piece of salmon than you gave us. Now, tell me why.
Well, it's extremely fresh, and it's so good, and it's Scottish salmon. It's all the fatty goodness and all the omega-3s. It's really, really fresh, and it's all I like to use because
Now,
it's delicious.
Is it coming from Scotland? When you
It is coming from Scotland. It's not farm-raised and all that stuff. Loch Duart, Scotland. It's delicious.
It is, and of course you prepared it in a beautiful place over spinach, I believe
I
it
did,
was.
fresh spinach.
Oh, it
and
was
a little
lovely.
champ potato. That's the Irish mashed potatoes with scallions and all the flavors that I put in there without all that cream. Delicious and healthy.
It is.
Nice.
So if someone now wants to go there, they shouldn't be thinking, sure, if they want to go to a pub and they want to have the typical fare, they can. But they can now go and have gastro. That's the word?
Gastropub food. Everything is
Gastropub
fresh and healthy.
food.
Absolutely. The term gastropub was coined. I was starting to go on about it. but it was coined in 1991 at the Eagle Pub in Clerkenwell, London. And when a couple of owners took over the place in 1991, now Gastropub is really catching on and is a classically trained French chef. And I'm not going to go on about it, but being around food my entire life, that is such a beautiful location. And it's really nice to go somewhere that's casual. You're on the water. Everything's fresh and nice. This music, the place is gorgeous. It was built by hand out there. You've got a riverfront, pub and restaurant. It's just fantastic.
Right. You can sit inside or you can sit on the outside. That's where we sat.
At the Briny, the food is fresh, delicious, and healthy with incredibly reasonable prices. I mean, it is what I would say inexpensive, and it should be. And the name is derived from gastronomy, gastropub, after all. I mean, I love the art of gastronomy and good eating.
Yeah, because when you told me that you first were going to be working at a pub, an Irish pub, I thought, oh, that's nice, but I know that your expertise is so far above that. I wondered, what is he going to do there? But I see what you've done. You've brought a beautiful location and with great owners, and you've now convinced them to be able to do this gastronomy. And I could tell from the food you served me. I mean, that was
thank
gorgeous.
You, but it's nice to have something that's straightforward and a straightforward approach with all that, without all that blarney, I would say. I mean, it's nice. It's wonderful. We're going to be doing cooking demonstrations there, cooking classes. It's going to be really incredible. I'm planning my first one. We're really going to do it right in the Keys Pub, which is right next door. So when you walk around and you get to the riverfront there, it'll be in a classroom environment. And it's going to be $65 per person, inclusive of beverage, tax, and gratuity for 3 courses. I'll tell a few jokes, and I'm going to show everyone how to cook. Romantic dinners for 2, an evening maybe with the Medicis, excuse me.
No, wait a second, but you have to offer singing. Now, people don't know that you actually are an opera singer, and you have the greatest voice. So, see, other people have cooking classes, but yours has to be extraordinary with this little song.
I'll probably do that.
You have to
I
do
probably
that. If I
will.
come, I'm not going to let you go without singing.
I'll go on about Kilkelly, Ireland, or something like that. It'd be good. Seriously, my loving son, John. But no, I will do that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to this immensely.
Well,
I really am.
Let's go on with the menu, because if people go there now, and I want to just tell people, the owner, though, the couple, they own the Briny Irish Pub Riverfront. They also own the Briny Irish Pub in Pompano.
Yes, they do. Right on A1A on
Yeah,
Briny
I'm
Avenue.
going to try that.
It's fantastic.
When you're
and
there
a
next
beautiful
time, I got to
location.
meet you there.
I've been there. The whole menu has changed.
Oh,
and it's
I want to
wonderful.
go there.
Yes,
Okay.
it
Now,
really
what is the Briny part?
Well, I think it's the avenue up there. It's Briny Avenue. Right over from A1A is Briny Avenue. And when Mike and Aileen acquired the place years ago, they rebuilt the whole thing. I mean, he really is a builder. And Mike is so good with his hands. And I've got to make a note of it because he's such a great guy. And when I first met him at a Starbucks. After the phone, we met, and he was so down to earth, and I shook his hand, and I knew that he was genuine. I went, wow, what a great guy. And he's built everything from his hand. So you take a look around and you say, wow, that's really craftsmanship. Really, it's good.
Well, there at the Briny Irish Pub Riverfront, the whole ceiling.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Why don't you describe that?
Nice. I mean, it's so nice. And, of course, this, the fishing theme with the boats and the yachts, all the stuff that he's acquired over the years to decorate the place. I mean, it's really, really nice. And let's face it, with the lamps around that bar inside and the one that's outside and in front of Keys Pub, it's just beautiful. Really is. I've fallen in love with the place.
I know you have, but I'm sitting here with our key lime pie, which I have eaten already. I finished it, which is horrible.
Well, then have some of mine.
No, it's okay.
It's all right.
I'll save it for later. That's the problem. It's always been my problem. When you go to a restaurant that has such good food, you're tempted to eat the dessert. But you're so full. Maybe we need to start with dessert first.
Exactly.
Eat the food afterwards.
Yeah.
But the key lime is a favorite of yours. Tell us about some of the other great specials that you want to prepare there, and also the desserts and
Sure.
and the drinks.
Sure.
Make believe I've just arrived.
My philosophy is very simple about that menu, and then it's been burgeoning all the while. And, I really want to fill the place, and we have high hopes and dreams. And I'm never going to overpromise and underdeliver, because that's really not in my nature. It's one thing to be ambitious, but to be realistic in an endeavor like this, I want to have a place that serves terrific food, fresh, healthy, at very reasonable prices. So if you get just for an example, a good sandwich on homemade brioche bread with a light salad, very healthy and interesting, and you say, wow, that's really good. And so if I'm successful, if I see the customers' faces after having, a pint and a sandwich, and they go, wow, that was really extraordinary. Thank you. And they appreciate the little tidbits, fresh avocado and whatever they find on their plate.
And what about the fries that you served me, which was talk about overkill?
Fries are a science, and they're really hard to do. A lot of people take them for granted. But those were sweet potato fries. And you've got to blanch them for 2.5 minutes, let them get cold. Then you've got to spread them out. You've got to rinse them in water, and then you've got to flash fry them. And we only use vegetable oil because it's healthy.
And there was no salt, which I appreciated.
No salt needed at all. And it's just really healthy. I love sweet potatoes, too. So it's a nice thing.
Sweet potato fries, very, very important, because there will be kids that come. This is open for everybody.
Sure,
and that's what kids pick
Well, we
up.
all love fries and potatoes.
We do.
Sure. I'm doing chips with the wonderful
That's what
Burbank,
they said. Oh, yeah.
Burbank potatoes,
Eileen
Burbank
said
russets.
Your fries, homemade fries?
Yes.
You didn't give me any of those yet.
Well, I will. Next time. That means you'll have to come back. If I can leave you wanting more, then I'm successful. That means you'll come back. So I won't overfeed you so much next time.
But what I can't imagine is how many people can you seat there? 300?
I think about 250 comfortably out front. Right on the riverfront. It's beautiful, really.
So I have to ask you as a chef, how do you manage to cook all that food?
Well, you've got to keep moving. You do. And, it's a labor of love, and it's also one of those of discipline. And every day, you plan on being, you plan for 1,000, and when you get to the number of people you have, then you're ready. And I'm under the philosophy I'd rather do 100 dinners at $10 than I would 10 dinners at 100. See, I've changed a lot over the years, and I realize that in today's economy and everyone else and people that want to eat healthy will come, they want to get something that's good and healthy at a reasonable price. That's really important.
And one thing I think I need to mention, because no matter how good a chef is, if the wait staff if they're not friendly and they're not fast, people won't go back. And that's one thing I noticed there. They were so... of course, you were there with us, and I guess they didn't want to make a mistake. But they were very sweet, very friendly. And for you, when you prepare something, they've got to get it right to the table, don't
Absolutely. They've got to have a tremendous sense of urgency with me and moving forward. You can forget the past or what's happened before, but it's so important. Good food and good service has to go hand in hand. And good service is everything to me as a restaurateur and a chef. It's so important. It really is. But thank you, Anita.
Yeah, I
noticed
all those things.
I try to instill that in all of them on a daily basis.
I don't want to forget that they do have another place besides in Pompano. They have the BRINY'S Irish Pub on 2nd Street, right by the Broward Center.
Sure.
And that's for people who just want to sit there, have some fun, and
Absolutely.
drink, right?
And dance, yes.
Oh, I didn't know they were dancing
music and
there.
dance. Oh, my goodness. It's fantastic. And Dicey Riley's right across the way. I mean, it's a beautiful area. I went by the other night. I left work. It was late. Late for me is 11 o'clock at night, but I think you may have been there. It was Saturday
night, and we did. We came along there, too, and we saw that place was mobbed.
Oh, my God. I said, my goodness, they're having a good time. And it made me smile. I like to see the place full. I really do. Yeah.
Well, it's a good area. I have to say that about Broward. It sounded very safe.
Yeah.
But now coming to your place, that's the one thing we wanted. So for those of you who know where it is, no problem.
Yeah.
But if someone now listening to this wants to go to the BRINY'S Irish Pub Riverfront, how's the easiest way for them to get there?
Take from Boca Raton, you take 95 south, and you get off on Broward, and you go east to Brickell Avenue. and you make a right on Brickell right into the riverfront, and you're there. There's a parking garage around the corner. Just follow the signs around, and we are right there on the water. It's beautiful. And the food will be good, too, and we're worth the trip.
Yeah, you are. And I was telling people because we're advertising the water taxi.
Yeah.
And there you can get on the water taxi after you dine, or if you're somewhere else, you can get off and dine.
That's correct. That's correct. Where a lot of the boats come right up there, and it's a nice thing to do to have the boats come right up to the restaurant. It's so nice.
Okay,
and
so
to watch them go by.
Let's talk, though, about the menu, because I think we didn't go too far. So now the gastro. What other things are you planning on putting on the menu?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to just say this. It's marvelously eclectic. There's sandwiches, craft burgers. You can get a great turkey club piled mile high, a turkey club sandwich. Fresh fish, scallops and shrimps, filet mignon. I mean, wonderful. And let's face it, $24 for an 8-ounce filet mignon. I'm going to put it out there. You're not going to get one any better. And
I know,
for
I tasted
that price,
it was incredible.
Thank you, my dear. And you'll get a Burbank russet potato and a salad with that as well. And it'll taste good, I promise. And it's really healthy. But it's a wonderfully eclectic menu, even with chicken tikka masala.
All right, what is that?
Well, it's the old Indian chicken curry that you might find in a British pub in London or Ireland, and now, of course, in the States, which is good.
Well, I was just thinking about people who go there. We want them to realize that you're going to be able to have what's a typical fare at a pub, but now it's being expanded, and that's why I'm bringing all this up, because I had the most wonderful food that you gave us, besides the gorgeous salmon and the Scottish salmon, and I had the filet mignon.
That's right. You had a creme brulee for dessert.
Oh, okay. Now you want to get into desserts? I mean, now if you gave me a choice of this key lime pie or the creme brulee, I'd probably take the key lime pie, because I just love it. But I think your creme brulee is the best I've ever tasted.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very careful with the food.
Yeah, it was
It
very
should be velvety and silky.
thin. It wasn't heavy.
Good. I want to talk about the cooking classes and demonstrations. I really want to do this.
Okay, and how are they going to start? You know what? We should I got to give phone numbers. If you want to call the Briny Irish Pub Riverfront and ask for more information, remember, this is Pencil Talk Radio. Get your pencils out. I'll give you the phone number to talk to them, because they are open 7 days a week, right?
That's correct. We are open 7 days a week and all holidays.
It's 954-376-4742. Again, 954-376-4742. I had that right, didn't I? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now they can call. But if they're interested in the cooking classes that are coming up, would they call that number also?
They wouldn't ask to speak directly with me. I'll take the call. Doesn't matter how busy I am.
Chef William.
You ask for Chef William, and I'll make all the arrangements. Or you can ask for Aileen, and she'll certainly handle the call.
Okay, so now what does it mean? What would we be doing? Because count me in. I want to come to the first one, so you have to make sure.
Of course. Well, it's going to be prepaid reservations. I'm going to do that. You will come. You'll gather around, and it'll be a 3-course luncheon, and it'll culminate, with the first course, your second course, and I'm even going to do a palate cleanser, and I'm going to show people how to make special things. Those of you that like to cook, would like to learn the tricks of the trade and techniques. And I'm going to have themed luncheons and themed dinners and sessions like that.
So they're actually going to be able to learn.
Yes, $65 inclusive is really inexpensive. And it's a great starting point, because I really want it to catch on, and I intend to do it, and it's going to be wonderful.
What's the time limit?
It's going to be from 11:30 to 2:30. And
really? That long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you've got to eat, you're going to cook, you're going to
3 hours.
participate. Yeah, about 2.5 to 3 hours.
Now, how do they get to cook?
Well, they're going to stand, and I'll ask for a couple of volunteers. I'll be making sauces. You can surprise your husband, your spouse, or significant or insignificant other.
Is everybody going to get one of the white hats? Got to think about that.
Well, maybe. They can certainly get a Briny shirt as a souvenir.
Yeah. I've got this gorgeous Briny shirt on, which is green, of course, for Irish.
But it's going to be so much fun. I've already been to the French Culinary Institute. I've spoken with him. I went with Mike Brennan, the owner, and to the Florida Culinary Arts Institute there on 18th Street, 17th Street rather, there on the Causeway. and we did a tour. We talked about an externship program or apprenticeship program where people will come and they can actually work with me there in the restaurant as part of their schooling. And it's
That's
required.
great.
Yes, it is. There would be a 6 months apprenticeship or something like that. But what would be so much fun is I thought that I would call and gather up some people to begin doing this.
Okay, well, I'll help you find some, but how many people do you think
Well,
for the
I'm going to
first
do
time?
no more than 40 people. And
No,
that's
wait,
why.
you can't do 40. I was
I
thinking
can
like
too.
a dozen.
Well, if
to
you want to do
start.
a dozen, no, I
Just
want to
to
do. I
start.
want to do 30, at least 30 people in the beginning to
And
start.
you'll have what,
They-
chairs or tables?
There are chairs and tables. We're working on it now. They're actually building a mirror. See, I did this in Washington, my dear. I did, and I had so much fun with it. And I was invited in to do cooking demonstrations and classes. We did that also at Chez Francois in Washington. And it was immensely popular, and it was a lot of fun to do. And, you know, from that price point, it's about half what anyone else would charge. And it's going to be great fun. It really is. And I'll show everyone how to make it like a nice white wine sauce to go with your dinner. I might even have a pastry theme one night, which is good, or one day, or one class session.
So that's an interesting part. Are there other restaurants doing this?
Well, I think there's one other in the area, and that is it. And that's all I know of. I mean, there's a place called Sur la Table, which I like very much. It's up here in Boca Raton, and they actually do cooking classes that you can sign up for. And I've been to one. I have. And I wanted to see what they're doing, and I smiled a lot. But it would be good. So, you know, it would be for beginners or advanced cooking techniques and things like that.
Well, you have a great personality. A chef has to have a great personality as well as great hands, right?
I just love to cook. I do. And you'll be able to see my hands because Mike just spoke with me this morning, and they've bought a mirror, and they're going to hang it just right over the table that he's building for me. He's fantastic. He's a builder. And so they'll be able to see my hands, and I have burners up there. So in a sort of classroom environment, I mean, I'm not going to pontificate. I'm just going to share my love of cooking with everyone, and we'll have fun.
I don't know where it was on a show or you told me, but good chefs use their hands when they cook. I mean,
Always.
They clean. First, they
Always.
clean their hands,
Yes.
but they use their hands. They don't use gloves or anything, right? They taste it.
Well,
I just saw something like that.
It's true. It's true. They don't. You know, I just had a bite of the key lime
Oh,
pie.
it's so good.
It's not bad, is it? Thank you.
No, it's not bad. That's just amazing. Will you sell? No, that's a question. Will you sell a whole pie like that?
Sure.
So we just order it ahead of time.
Absolutely. Order ahead of
key
time.
lime
A day in advance.
pie.
Actually, a day or two in advance would be nice.
Yeah, you could have some things like that to sell.
Exactly.
Your favorite things.
Yeah, and at least you'll know it's homemade.
So
and
how
fresh.
about even catering? Let's say that somebody's having a party. Would you cater this, or would you have food ready?
Happy to cater, and food is available to go, and I would do it nicely for anyone. Yeah.
Because I was thinking your Scottish salmon. Now,
Ha.
let's say I'm having a dinner party and I
Yes.
have 6 people.
Yes.
Could I just buy that prepared? Because that's the most
You could.
important part. I could
Yes,
from you.
I would do that. I would do that for you. Yeah, or do that for anyone, for that matter. And it's nice to have gourmet dinners to go.
Gourmet dinners to go, right?
Sure, you can pick them up. It's a beautiful place there. I have big plans for the place.
I understand.
In fact, we
that.
want to build out another kitchen in Keys Pub where the classroom environment will be. I think it'll be the most extraordinary place. And if things go my way, I think Mike may be tempted to include it as part of the historical district there on the riverfront and really put a ship right in the water. I mean, this is maybe a little far
a
off.
ship in the water?
A ship in the water that we would actually serve people on.
Is that right?
We've talked about it.
You think you could?
He's
are you
extraordinary.
allowed to do that?
He's brilliant. Well, he can make that happen. And
now,
it
are
would be
you
wonderful.
because a lot of beautiful ships are coming by?
Yeah.
Do they stop and pick up food too, or do they?
No, they bring people. The water taxi brings people and other boats, and of course, there's yachts. Let's face it, it's Fort
they have
Lauderdale. There's
yachts.
a lot of toys.
You have yachts, but there
in the
are
water.
places. If someone's in a yacht, they can actually stop by there because you do have some spaces, right?
Absolutely, we
and
have.
then eat
we
there.
have slips right there.
Yeah,
they
you
can
do.
park the boat, right? And they do often. It's wonderful to see them. That's why I love it so much. It's right
It
down the
is.
water.
It's really it has great potential, doesn't it?
And it's
William?
gorgeous. Yeah. And quite frankly, it's the only place left there. They're refurbishing the whole river walk there, and they're building towers, et cetera, over the past couple of years it will take to build out or something like that. But it's such a fantastic location.
It is a great location.
It is indeed. It is.
And if someone comes, you don't push them out. Let's say that they want to be there for like 3 hours, and do you get, if they want to sit and relax?
If they want to sit and relax, I'd love to have them, really.
As long as they just keep maybe drinking or something. Got to keep those
it's
tables
not like,
running.
It's not like you're going to get a beeper out of us at some of these places like a Hogates or whatever you want to call it.
But you have the Starbucks, they could bring their computers. You don't want them hanging around like that, do you?
No, but they could. They could. It's an eclectic, interesting mix of people there. And what's surprising to me is there's many, many French Canadians. And moi je parle français, mais oui. And I speak French, and I talk to people, and it's nice. And they love the fish and chips. They love what we're doing because you're not going to get better fish anywhere. I'm very picky.
Even the fish with the fish and chips, even though it's not the Scottish salmon, it's still special.
Oh, my goodness. It's that good. Oh, you've got to come back and eat it.
I will. So my other question is, when you go as a chef, do you have to go somewhere to pick the stuff, or you just have these people come and bring them to you?
Really good purveyors. I really do. And I'm pretty picky. I am. And we can turn something that's usually ordinary into something extraordinary. It's because we have a little passion and we care. And at the end of the day, you're going to get a good meal at a very reasonable price. And that's what makes it work.
And Chef William, Briny Irish Pub, Riverfront, phone numbers 954-376-4742. And that's just the beginning. We're going to have you back a lot. We're going to actually, as a matter of fact, I've reserved the May cover. No, let's see. It's the June cover, excuse me. June cover, we're going to put one of your foods right on there.
Yay.
And start to do some wonderful things about you in the magazine.
Yes, and the cooking classes we're going to talk about on a regular basis. And please call us and ask.
Okay, thank you, William.
Thank you so much, Anita. It's always a pleasure.